I just decide everything's step one. I feel like I've said step one like 4 times today.
Step one.
Step one. You need all in capitals to know your numbers. What's up? What's up? All right. Today we're talking about ways to increase business at your business, in your business. I don't know. So if you're looking to make more money, stop wishing and listen up, because today we're talking about increasing your business, whether you're an owner, an employee, independent. This episode is for you. Welcome back to the show. My name is Todd. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen. How's it going, Jen?
Great. How are you?
Amazing. We are the co-owners of Hello Hair Co., which is our salon and barbershop, as well as co-owners of Hello Hair Pro, which is our education and mentoring business. And you're listening to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Ping Pong Design and Marketing.
Ping pong.
Ping Pong. If you want to love your website again, or you're looking for more clients to fill your business, Ping Pong is offering our audience a special discount on any website or digital marketing campaign. All you've got to do is visit the show notes, reach out to Chris, talk to him about your needs. Ping Pong, not just for hair pros, but the entire health, beauty, and fitness industries. All right, on to the show. All right, so today we're talking about increasing business, but before we get there, I just want to say I like our new setup.
Yes, it's very nice.
So we were playing around with different ideas, different ways to record these podcasts and make our workflow easier. So we had toyed around with creating a studio in the basement, to moving our kids' playroom to the basement, to record on our first floor. And then we realized we have a massive bedroom. So when we moved into this house, we built it. So we had the option, we didn't have kids. So we had the options to like structure things how we wanted. Mm-hmm. So it was originally supposed to be a 4-bedroom. Mm-hmm. And we were like, why wouldn't we just have a gigantic master bedroom? For literally no reason. But when you're younger, you're like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, the builder was like, but for resale value, you should have 4. And we were like, we're not having kids, so we don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, I didn't care about
resale. By the way, we now have 3 kids and only 3 bedrooms, and we're fucked, but it's all good. Now we have a cool area for our podcast because our bedroom is so ginormous. It's ridiculous, and it made sense to put it here.
Yeah, I meant to measure the square footage of this bedroom because it's absurd. This is like an apartment.
Silly.
So
now it's our recording studio. It's great.
Yeah.
And our kids don't have an extra bedroom.
And I feel, yeah. And I feel like it's just going to be nice to have things set up and just sort of ready to go so we can hit record and kind of just go like this. So anyways, no one cares. Let's get into this. So
I bet you they do.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cool fun fact.
It's fun. Anyways, yeah, we're talking about increasing business. So there's a few different ways we can approach this, and we'll get there, but like you can increase your new sales. So that would be new clients. You can increase profit, which is how much money's left over when you're done covering all of your expenses. Stuff like that. You can decrease. It's not really increasing your sales, but you can decrease your overhead, your fixed costs where you can. Stuff like that. I think before we move on, I gotta say though, we have to start with mindset.
Okay. I
think people put these self-imposed limits on stuff, and when you do that, you're not going to make progress. And what I mean, I'll give you an example. So,
do tell.
We'll get there, but one scenario might be raise your prices, and then somebody immediately says, "No one in my town will pay that." Okay, well, if you're going to put limits on it like that, there's nothing I can do to help you. So you've got to work on your mindset first. Nothing? You got nothing?
Sorry,
mindset.
I was waiting for whatever you were going to say next. I was looking down.
That was it. I think before, because you can give people, like we can write out a plan, but it's not going to help you if your mindset's not right.
Correct. P.S. My mindset's a little blurred at the moment because I got in a fight with my 6-year-old before we started recording. Yes, that's right. I got in a fight with my 6-year-old because she didn't want to eat dinner at the dinner table.
I was going to say she didn't want to eat
with
dinner
the family, and I am butthurt about it. But moving on, or trying to. So yes, I agree. mindset is most important. And I think there's also another thing on raising your prices and understanding why you need to, or what would push you to do that. If you understood your expenses versus your profit and all of those things, you would be like, oh my God, I totally need to do this. But I see often, whether it's books closed or you're in the beginning of the month and you're like, I don't have appointments till next month. All of those two things immediately say you should raise your prices. Like, that's just...
You don't have appointments, meaning you're booked?
Yeah, if you're
like
booked...
You don't have time slots available.
Gotcha. So we're coming into the current month, and let's say you're like, I'm not booking until the next month because I'm so busy, I don't have appointments. Actually, today I even saw on social media, it was just somebody who recently opened a salon, and, you know, she was... I'm sure needed an outlet, and she used social media as her outlet, and that's totally fine. And it was just kind of like, I'm no longer double booking. I'm getting anxiety about this. I'm overstretching myself. I'm squeezing people in where I shouldn't, and all of these things, and everybody be patient with me. And really, that person, if you're that busy, she has a reason to raise her prices, do all of the things she wants to do, and have a better lifestyle. And chill out and not have to worry about using social media to explain her anxiety. I truly felt for her. I don't even actually know her as a person. It's just something I had seen today, because you see all things on social media.
I have no idea who you're talking about or what the scenario was, but I would agree with you. Don't use... you can do what you want. I always sort of cover my bases by saying that, because I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. In my opinion, like, I wouldn't use social media as a sounding board.
I agree. A bazillion percent.
It doesn't come across how you mean it.
No.
That's it. Tone
and there's
gets
no
lost.
leadership behind it, and it doesn't matter how you spin it. But if you could relate to what I was just speaking of, and you're just like, whoa, that's me, it's most likely time to raise your prices, figure out what your fixed costs are, figure out what profit you need to be at, and then you can work that back to what your prices should be, to give you the flexibility in your schedule, to give you the fun of why you wanted to do hair and be creative and be profitable with your business. And that would be just the first step, without doing anything else, like of having to market and find those new clients and all of that. Because clearly you're busy enough that your market can sustain that.
Yeah, and if you're busy enough, you don't have time for new clients.
Right, which is a whole different story.
I mean, if you're booked already...
You want to open up for that.
Yeah.
People move, people fall off. Like, you need to always be filling in those spots.
I agree. Yeah. Good stuff. So, all right, before we move on, I've got to ask something here to our sort of audience. And once again, this is what I do, but I might piss people off, but I'm cool with it. I just want people to think, you know what I mean? So like I said earlier, we can give you all the answers. Yeah, we can build your entire fucking plan, drop it off on your desk. But if you don't put in the work, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, there's nothing.
And showing up and sitting is not putting in the work. P.S.
I haven't asked anything yet. And I said I was going to ask something. So my question to you listening is, what are you willing to do to create what you want? You're trying to create something. And now you've got to be honest with yourself, because at the end of the day, like, we do this podcast. I'm trying to help people. Mm-hmm. That's it. You know, we have some mentoring clients. I want the best for them. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if they don't put in the work,
there's no results that will happen.
Right. I can't do it for you.
Right. Just because you hire a mentor doesn't mean that you're just going to get results. There's a lot of work that comes into that. Yeah.
We're just here for advice. I can tell you what to do, what's worked for us.
And you can decide to either take it or leave it, or actually do it and be very successful.
So again, once we know what who we're dealing with, you can start to like make some progress, because a whole lot of people claim that they want success, but their actions tell a completely different story.
Agreed.
So audience, what are you willing to do?
Actions are the story.
How far are you willing to go? How uncomfortable are you willing to get? Mm-hmm. So if you're expecting more than you're willing to give, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Agreed.
So let's dive into, first we'll go over what people don't want.
Okay.
Right? Here's one. What people don't want. This is going to be controversial. They don't want the best hairdresser.
Okay.
They don't. Not in terms of how a hair pro would think. I have this conversation all the time with our staff. They don't have the eye. oftentimes they don't even know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. You're using all these technical terms. You took 92 classes. No one cares. Now, I'm not saying that stuff's not important, but your clients probably are after other things than the best hairdresser. And I know for a fact because I see clients that are like, so-and-so is the best. This person is the best. That person is the best. Mm-hmm. Look, there can only be one best by definition.
True.
Right? So some of your clients are liars. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just being funny.
I've seen people walked around walked around. Okay. Walking around.
Many of people
walked around with some bad hair, and yet they think their stylist rocks. And I can tell you why. I'll actually give you the magical dust here. It's the experience and the relationship they have with that stylist.
Right.
And they love that. And eventually, when they realize their hair is shit, they will have to go, but it will not be easy for them, and you will be able to keep them way longer than they should have stayed with you. So in that point,
I've heard that story from
work
people.
on your technical skills while you're giving the shit ass hair. Skills. Did I say stills?
I feel like you did.
Oh,
we'll have to go back to the tape.
Yeah. Work on your technical skills, because if you're good at building relationships and you're good at giving a great experience, then during all that, that's the easy part. Work on all the technical skills you can do, because then that person, over time, just the hair gets better and they will never go. I've had people with me for 23 years. That's as long as I've done hair. I guarantee you 23 years ago, I was not doing awesome hair. It was crap, but yet
it probably wasn't as bad as you thought.
I'm sure it was pretty bad, but thank you. But I like talking. I like giving people the experience. I just like spending time with people, and most people, that's what they're looking for. And I could remember their life, and I love that part about it. That was fun for me. It wasn't a job. It was very enjoyable to me. It still is. I feel like I do hair second. I do people in convo first.
So I think when you realize that you don't have to be the best, most technically sound person, it frees you up to focus on things that you should be focusing on. So I've got one more thing that people don't want, and this is a big one. So I see people that are like starting out their business, or they're trying to increase business overall, increase sales. Discounts.
Oh.
Fuck are you doing? I need to make more money. Half off.
Yeah.
What?
Because
the average person isn't looking for a discount. And then ask yourself, if you're trying to establish a relationship with somebody, I'll give you a quick story. When I had my gym, I ran a special through one of those like sort of coupon. What are they called? You know, like the coupon things they advertise, like deals at different businesses. Like you get 43% off the movies, like whatever, you buy the sponsor. Anyway,
I don't know what it's called. I'd love to help you, but I can't.
That's all right. It's not really important. It didn't work, but...
So don't worry.
What I learned, the lesson I learned is when I ran this deal, I got a ton of people through the door. But then when the next gym ran a deal, those people were coupon chasers. Yeah. So they just left. Mm-hmm. Now, shame on me for not realizing that before, but I learned the lesson. That's what, like, you might artificially inflate your income for like a month, maybe two, but then those people are leaving.
I also have a hard time with discounts because if you have a loyal clientele,
hashtag charge your worth, hashtag half off. I don't get it. What are you doing?
If you have a loyal clientele and you're discounting or you're giving all of this stuff to new people that come in, what does that say to the people that have supported you for the last 5, 6, 10 years?
There's that.
Right? Like I have openings today, but only for people who take those openings get a discount. So the people that rebook every time are loyal, show up on time. They like are doing everything to keep your business sustainable, but they're not going to get the discount. It's the people that are randoms. I can't wrap my mind around that. I've never been able to. I mean, again, comment below, not possible. But if you have a reason or a story of why it works for you, I would love to understand what the mindset is for you behind that. Because for me, I don't get it at all. Or if you're discounting because you're not comfortable with your prices, then maybe you just need a different price structure. You need to reevaluate how you're charging for things.
Yeah.
Consistency and treating everybody the same is, in my opinion.
So is there anything else on the don't want list? And we can slide into the do want list. No? Okay.
I don't have anything.
So stop doing discounts. Now, is there a time and place for discounts? No, just kidding. Yeah, of course there has to be, right? For us, we took everything away. We don't do discounts. So full transparency. We have like an education discount. But it comes with stipulations. Like, we're going to be walking through this with other stylists. We're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. We're going to be taking photographs, and the person has to be cool with that.
And it takes longer.
And it takes longer. And the person has to be cool with that. And they agree to it. So for that, it's worth it for us. We also do social media days. And we just want to cover our products and cover whatever fun stuff we have going on.
Yep. And I will say, if you're trying to wrap your mind around the education days, we do it as a discount and not for free, because it's an easy conversation for the client to understand. It's whatever % off the regular price. So this way they know if they wanted to reschedule with you after the education, you've already discussed the full price, and they understand what the discount is and why they're getting that day. So it really covers both sides of that.
I also want to correct myself, because I just jumped in over you and I was like, never free. Some stuff will be free. You are going to do some stuff for free. So people, I forget where I learned this, but it was definitely a restaurant industry lesson. But people get used to discounts. They don't get used to free. So like if it was someone's birthday, you have a great client and you're like, you know what, I'm going to cover their haircut today as a birthday gift. Well, then that's free. Right? But it's also, you're building the relationship. There's value in that. So I'm saying, like, don't do free. Don't, like, in my opinion, don't be like, come in for a shampoo and you get a free haircut, a free balayage, a free, like, all this stuff free to try to get a client, because that person is not, they're not going to stick around.
Right.
I know it's counterintuitive, but it's the way people's brains are wired. All right. So let's chat a little bit about what people do want. You've covered some of this stuff, but consistency.
Like to jump ahead.
Consistency is one.
Huge.
Why? Talk about it.
Well, because if you do it once and then they come in the second time, now it's expected. And if you don't do it, they are disappointed and people will leave because of that. So to me, if you're going to start doing certain things to, like, you're like, I'm going to step up my experience. You're right. Like, that makes me feel like I'm going to give a better value rather than discount my prices. I'm going to make my experience so much better with each client. Well, you've got to do that every single time, every time they come in, no matter how you're feeling, no matter if your 6-year-old had dinner with you or not, you got to do that experience at that level. And if you don't think you can do that 100% of the time, then you might need to just reevaluate that. At my last salon, actually, even at Hello, we did it too. We did new guest gift bags. And I can tell you at my last salon and at this one, 90% of the people might have got them, but there was always someone that was missed. And I remember certain clients that were like,
disappointed.
I didn't get my new guest gift bag. You know, and the stylist was like, what the fuck, get over it. But no, they didn't come in just for that.
What
but
the fuck?
It was,
get a new job.
It was this expectation. They were excited for what's in the new guest gift bag. They were excited for the experience they were told by their friend who referred them to come there, and then they were let down. So not only does that suck for the client that was let down, but the one that referred them, even more of a suck, because they basically were like selling you. Yeah. And then you didn't step up and consistently give the same experience. So it's extremely important to have consistency in whatever you implement.
I tell people on our staff often, and people just in general, I got this from the restaurant industry as well. When I managed front of the house, I don't care if your mom walks in, she's a client. I don't care if your brother walks in, he's a client.
Right.
Treat everyone the same.
And they'll appreciate it.
Yes, they want to turn their brain off. They don't want to hear you bitching about your flat tire or whatever.
I treat our staff like clients when I do their hair.
Of course, yeah, because they're a client.
And then other staff
sitting in your chair, if they're a client.
Other people on our staff are like, how did you get them to talk to you about their new guy they're seeing? And I'm like, I just treated them like a client and talked to them, and voila, there we were talking about all the things.
So the fundamental reason that people make any purchase is that they're looking for a solution to a problem, pain point, challenge, something like that. Now, that could be as simple as maintenance. My hair's too long. I need a cut. My hair is really fine. I want extensions to make it fuller, whatever their solution might be. But that's what a client's looking for, stuff like that. To tie into that, consumers are generally looking for like an emotion. They want to feel something. They want to feel proud. They want to feel confident. They want to feel fresh, whatever. Like when I get a haircut, I feel clean. I feel fresh, you know? And that's what people are looking for. Some sort of, if you can tie in some sort of emotion. And again, it's with any purchase. Look at something high end like watches or vehicles or Louis Vuitton bags or shoes. Like, why do people buy that stuff? It's a status thing. It's it triggers this emotion, you know?
Yeah.
And that's basic consumer behavior is all driven from emotion.
Right.
Or a problem. People have a problem. Here's the other thing. So the last thing I had on my to-do list or what people do want list is people want simple. So people want as few steps as possible when they're making a purchase, when they're having an experience. They don't want to think.
Agreed.
So after your consultation, as far as the hair world, let them shut their mind off. Right? And you can do that by, again, counterintuitive, but it's psychology, making it about them.
Right.
I just think that's so powerful, and we don't have to get into any more deeper than that. But yeah, if you can be consistent, tie stuff into some sort of emotion by solving a problem and keep it simple, you're winning already.
Making it about them. Yeah. Agreed.
All right. So let's dive into some strategies to consider when trying to increase either business or sales or something like that. Step one. I just decide everything's step one. I feel like I've said step one like 4 times today.
Step one. You need all in capitals to know your numbers. Yes.
You have to. If you don't know your numbers, here's what I mean by that. So if you are an employee, you need to know how much money you need to make, how many hours you need to book to achieve that, etc. On and on. If you're an independent, you have to know how much it costs you to go to work because you're paying somebody to go to work. There's some overhead expenses. You have products, you have whatever you have to cover.
Correct.
If you're an owner, you need to know how much it costs for you to unlock the door and flip the lights on. Maybe it's $250. Lucky you. Maybe it's $2,000. If you have a huge salon, it could be a lot more. And yes, folks, I'm talking about per day.
Yep.
You can break it down however you want. If it makes more sense in your head to break it down per month or per week, go for it. I don't care. I know how much money we have to bring in every day to break even at Hello. We have a pretty exact figure. So again, if you're short on a day, you're going to be over on another day. So it is going to be like an average. I'm not talking about if you don't hit it one day, you're screwed.
That's why you know per day, per week, per month, right? Like you can.
Yeah, and you have to look at stuff. So we're open 7 days a week. If you're not, you have to account for that too. So you just need to get with someone and figure that out. If you don't know how to figure out your numbers, find someone to help you. Right. You have to.
It's actually not that hard. If you're trying to do it on your own, I feel like it can be overwhelming. But if you do have someone that can steer you in that direction and really kind of get you hyper focused on it, it's very empowering. Wherever you sit, if you're an employee, if you're an independent, if you're an owner, it's very empowering when you can look at what you're bringing in every day and like, wow, I'm breaking even, I'm profitable, I'm this, or wow, I am losing, and that's why X, Y, and Z are not happening, and what do I need to change? And now you have concrete numbers on why you need to change it, and then you can implement that change either all at once, or you can strategize it over the next however long period of time you need to get there, depending on how big that jump needs to be. But it gives you the confidence to do that because you understand why it needs to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so if you're an owner and you don't know how much it costs you to open per day, what do you base? So if you came to me and you're like, I want to increase my sales from what to what, how much of it, like, by how much? Like, what are we looking to do?
You're just looking at what you make a day and you're like, I need more, but you don't understand like what part breaks you even,
Right.
what part makes you profitable. Just like an independent stylist, we see it so often. You leave whatever salon you were at and you're like, I'm just going to use either the same prices. I might actually even make them less, which would be odd. Or maybe you make them $1 more because arbitrarily $1 seems like, oh, I'm just going to raise my prices by $1. However that looks for you, but why? Why are you doing that? And if you don't understand why, you got to go back to what the numbers are so you can understand what your price structure looks like. So this way, when you're just like, oh, my prices are this, you are confident behind those prices because you have set them in order to be profitable.
Yeah, all great stuff. Again, I love numbers. So looking at numbers makes me happy because if you're not looking at them, you just are missing so much. There's so much information in them.
Agreed. And if you don't love numbers, you right there, if you're like, that's me, hire someone to at least help you understand your numbers, because the minute you understand them, you not ignore them, but you've put the system in place. Yes, you could glance, and they don't have to haunt you at night. They don't have to keep you up. They don't have to stress you out. You just now can look at that spreadsheet and you're like, I know what I need to make every day. And if I don't make it every day, I know what I need to make weekly. And if I don't make it weekly, I know what I need to come in at the end of the month. And this is what that looks like for me. And if I'm under, I understand what that does for me. And if I'm over, I understand what that does for me.
And I like using averages so that I can look. So for example, I can look at my software. I can look at our computer software, or booking software rather, and just glance at it. And I know on average, every hour booked at our salon is X amount of dollars because there's an average, right? That's it. I glance at it. Oh, great day.
It really does
week.
Put your brain at ease and create a calmness within you if you understand where your numbers need to be. Whether you hit them or not, at least even understanding it, it's amazing how awesome you will feel.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. I think we harped on numbers enough. So the next thing I have on my list is focus. So, and I know this, you're like, okay, I understand my numbers. How does that bring more business in? We'll get there. This stuff all adds up. It all compounds. That's what we're talking about. So focus, how does focusing increase your business? It increases your business because you have to be able to put effort into whatever approach. And we're going to list some stuff that you can do to actually bring people in and bring more money in. But if you're not focused on it, it's not going to work very well.
Well, focus equals putting in the effort because you're putting time into your business.
So again, before we run into, another list, I just want to bring up one more time. You got to get your mind right because negative attracts negative. So if you say you look at your numbers and you're like, oh, fuck, this week was terrible, blah, 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 blah. Now guess what you see? Everything that was terrible.
All the negative space.
Yeah. You need to look at it as opportunities. So like, wow, this week was bad. Why? Was it July 4th week and you were slow because everyone was on vacation? Not so bad. But now for next year to like look ahead at that stuff.
Or most of your clients book at 6 weeks and 6 weeks ago was July 4th. So you're like, oh, of course I'm going to be slow this week because 6 weeks ago everyone was on vacation.
So yeah, get your mind right. And so I want to say this too. So you need to know your strategic differences. What separates you? What separates your business?
So important.
What separates you as a hair pro or as a person? Why would somebody want to come to you?
To you.
Because anybody can do hair. Anybody can learn hair. Anybody can go to school. I went to school for barbering. I'd never cut hair before that.
Right.
That should prove that anybody could learn. And if you're focused and you're putting work in, anybody can be relatively good. And we already know that clients aren't always looking for the best of the best. They're looking for those other things we listed.
Yeah. The experience, which puts into what separates
you. And then tell that story.
Over and over and over again.
Every day. Every fucking day. Never stop.
Yeah. Or
whatever frequency you decide. All right. So let's dive into a couple of, I just did the thing. It's funny. I went back and listened to our first ever podcast.
Wasn't that awesome?
It wasn't that great. I feel like I was like, okay. And then you were like, tell the story about this. And I was like, okay.
I feel like I used the same like adjective throughout, if I remember.
Probably.
I haven't listened to all of them because I don't like to hear myself, but I do when we're talking, but that's about it.
All right. So let's dive into some more specific things. So here's one: increase your prices. So if I had to guess, you're undercharging. If you
yes,
do
we're
hair,
talking to you. You are undercharging.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, you're undercharging. If I had to guess, if I had to bet money on it, I would bet money on your undercharging.
Because majority of you are doing that.
And that is because you probably don't know your numbers, so you don't know what you should be charging. So you just guessed. Don't guess. Or don't base it on someone else, because guess what they did? Based it on someone else who based it on
And you're not that person. You're you. And you're worth every penny of what you charge or should be charging.
One of our emails that went out to our email list that you should jump on if you're listening was about knowing your numbers. So for example, if you have a salon, say it cost you, I don't know, say it cost you $2,000 a day to operate your salon.
Whoa, baby.
And say the salon directly across the street, it costs them $500.
Yeah, your prices should be
if you have the same,
astronomically different.
If you have the same amount of staff, you have to charge, like, just, you know.
Your expenses are higher.
All things being equal, your expenses are higher. You need to charge more.
Correct.
That's how businesses run. It's not a fucking emotional feeling thing
I hope someone just had an aha moment like, oh, shit, you're right.
Yeah, if it costs you X amount of dollars and you need to make X amount of dollars, you need to add those two numbers up and then divide by your hours or whatever, however you want to figure it out. And then there you go. But you're most likely charging incorrectly, especially if you base your pricing on another salon, because they're probably charging incorrectly as well.
You're not in the same world.
All right, here's the next thing, and this is a little vague, right? But
okay,
get more clients. Here's why. Because I see this still, like, books closed.
I've never done that. We've talked about this before on the podcast. 23 years in, I've never done that.
I've heard, I was reading the other day, it was like 20 to 40% of clients are generally lost yearly, just due to normal stuff. Like people lose their job, people move, they have changes, people unfortunately pass away, people get sick. There are a million reasons that somebody might stop coming to you. It's not a reflection of you in any way, shape, or form. But if you're always, or if you're not always marketing, that will eventually, like that 20%, you might be like, oh, business was down this year. Must be the economy. Yeah, no, it's you not knowing your numbers and not knowing how to market.
Right. When I've ever had somebody be like, it just happened the other week. Are you taking new clients? I'd like my sister to come to you. And I'm like, I am always taking new clients. Now, where they fit
if they can get in.
Yes. What they're looking for and how soon they want to get in, that's up to them if they want to wait. But I absolutely always am taking new clients. Always.
All right. So that said, focus on the clients you already have.
Yes.
You want to increase business? Focus on fostering those relationships with the clients that you already have. We mentioned it a bunch of times. Go read The Pumpkin Plan.
Great book.
I'll put it in the show notes again. What was the book I saw over there? Go Giver. The Go Giver. Go read that book. I'll put it in the show notes. But learn how to focus on the people you already have. Because if you can create some super fans that are going to go out and tell your story, like you just said, I want my sister to come in with you. Why? Because you've created some sort of relationship or emotion, or you've solved this problem. The sister probably has a likely story or a similar likely story. A similar, probably likely has a similar story. There we go.
There you go.
You got it, Todd. So if you're focusing on the people you already have and giving the best you can to them, you're focusing on the positive, which keeps your mindset positive, which makes you cooler to fucking be around.
Yep.
So do that.
And if you have your favorite clients, because we all have them, the ones that they're just the most enjoyable and they make your day, say to them, hey, I enjoy doing your hair. If you have friends like you, please send them to me because I want to do their hair. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, some clients might look at you and be like, oh, you're so busy. I don't want to bother you by sending my friends to you. I used to have people like this. They were like, I'm not telling my friends to come to you because I want to be able to get into you only. That happens too. But if you can get those people that are your favorites to send their friends that are just like them, you will eventually build this clientele that makes this business so amazing for you that It'll be so fun forever and ever.
Agreed. That one is so important. You've got to focus on the people that you have and just straight up talk to them. If you're running into issues where you need to fill your book a little more than it is, tell your favorite clients. Mm-hmm. In fact, tell all of your clients.
Yeah.
Maybe if depending on the situation, but
if you're starting out, I would honestly try to tell everybody, because it's just, you're going to weed through them and it's fine, but you're going to start to build and you need to get the momentum, and that you need help with that. And then you'll, get to a point where you can start to just talk to your favorites and build off of that.
Right. All right, moving on. So marketing. You really should learn a little bit about marketing.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm not going to break down marketing right now. We can do a different podcast. I don't know if we've already done one on marketing.
I don't think we have.
We can do a different one, but we have creating avatars and things like that. So we've touched on it.
We can do another one, because we
can dive in.
But we could talk on two different levels of how we both market.
So learn a little bit about marketing, because it's going to help you. All right, moving on. Follow up for feedback. So be constantly asking your clients for feedback. Mm-hmm. What are you doing well? What can you improve on? And you've got to be able to let go of, or push your ego aside a little bit.
Yeah.
You can do a survey anonymously. I've done them in the past. I used to run surveys at my gym, and I always got the stupidest fucking answers. Mm-hmm. They were like just stupid shit that people would complain about, that I'm like, this isn't the point. Like,
I don't like your hand soap, like something like that, right?
Yeah. Or so-and-so always gets the barbell I like. That's not really like a thing.
No.
You know? So be careful with how you go about it, but even take your best top 5 to 10 clients and ask them honestly for feedback and see what they have to say. Our
staff just started doing that, because we sort of planted that seed for them, and it's been really fun to watch, because there's things that they're like, oh, I know what my clients love, and then they're getting different feedback, and it's all good. They're asking the people that are going to get all the good stuff, right? But it's been fun for them to even be like, oh, I didn't think of the service I give looking like that. And it's cool, because it helps them step up their game.
For sure. And hopefully someone gives them feedback at some point that's not so positive, because that's where the real growth can happen.
Agreed. So that's the hardest to take.
It's cool to replicate the good stuff, but can you fix the other stuff?
You want the constructive criticism, right? Mm-hmm. Even if it stabs you a little in the chest.
And this goes back to marketing too. We ask everyone that's a new client, or I ask our staff to ask, and I ask if I'm in there, but how'd you hear about us? Mm-hmm. Why would that be important? Well, if you know what's working for your marketing, you can
it's really important.
Increase business. That's why it's important. So if you're just marketing and you're just like doing a bunch of stuff,
throwing balls out left and right,
but you don't know what's working
and what's coming in.
If you're not measuring and you're not using metrics, then how do you know? Like, I feel like it's busier.
My gut tells me.
I don't care what you feel. Jeez. Yeah. I'm trying to run a business here.
You need metrics for sure.
You need both. Yeah. So, all right. Next thing, this one seems kind of maybe a little obvious, but reduce your costs if you can. So I know that's not a way to increase business, but it will help your overhead.
Yeah.
Now, you might be at the point where you're fine tuning. If we look at our business, there's not a whole lot we can cut out. We've done that already. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean we don't keep an eye on stuff. It doesn't mean we don't keep constantly a pulse on things. Again, looking at our marketing. Is this working?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just actually cut something out that was not working.
Okay.
Remember that?
No.
Oh. Well, I don't want to diss any service we were using. What?
Yeah.
It was one that
at the beginning of the year?
You just canceled it this month, but it was doing some marketing stuff. It was claiming to do some marketings, and we used them for a while, and it wasn't delivering on all the points that
it wasn't worth it.
Had promised.
It wasn't worth it,
it wasn't
in my
worth
opinion.
It.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We weren't getting a return on this investment, and so we
no, it wasn't high enough for me. Yeah.
Agreed. But because we're always checking and looking at it.
I do think there was a return. It wasn't high enough. So I was like, why don't we take that money and focus it somewhere else to see if we can get a higher ROI?
Yeah. Return on investment.
Return on investment. Yes. So reduce your costs. Streamline your processes. Mm-hmm. So make it easy for people.
Yes.
If people can't book with you in like 2 steps or 3 steps, whatever, something quick.
Yeah.
Make it quicker.
We had someone in today that was just like, she booked a haircut last night at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock.
I was sleeping.
Well, so she booked it with one of the stylists. She's like, I saw you booked the haircut at 11 o'clock. She's like, I was so glad you guys had online booking and it was so simple to use. Like, she's like, I'm in town for a little bit and blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't matter. But because it was simple, many things, but
it does matter.
Yeah.
It's all great.
The simple
feedback.
part could get on, just do it. Didn't need to put a credit card in, like all of these things. They were just like, I could just book this dang haircut and get in here today at 2 o'clock. Like they were pumped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't make it so people have to call. Make it so it's easy. Make it so someone can just do it. All right. So streamline your processes. Here's another one that's not exactly bringing in money, but it's preventing money from going out, is avoid losing money. Right? Seems silly, but like, so if you are a salon that is constantly having like redos, for example, that's a lot of money going out the door.
You really got to look at that.
Because you technically have to pay that staff.
Yep.
You can't not pay them. They did the work. It's illegal. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. Don't quote me on that. I didn't check it before I said it, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal to change someone's paycheck for work they already did. All right. We already talked about discounts, but the next one I had on my list was eliminate discounts. So we've taken these steps with people that we've worked with, and we've watched their income increase by thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. It's generally the first thing we
do. You do discounts? Yeah. Stop.
Yeah. Work on that first, and then we can talk about everything else. Because when you eliminate the discounts, essentially you're raising your prices in a sense. Like all your prices come to the same playing field.
I was going to say, get everyone on the same playing field.
And then you can now make the next step. But
it's
that's
also
your first step.
It's also a good test. If you can't not discount, some of this other stuff you're not going to be able to handle.
Right. And
so
also,
wrap your mind around one. That's an easy one. Hey,
it's so confusing.
I'm not going to be able to discount your hair anymore. I've been discounting it. Add it up for someone. If they have a real problem.
Yeah.
Well, I've been coming to you for 5 years. Exactly.
And
I did the math. You've saved $62,000,
yes.
$504.
You're why I have to work an extra day.
Right. Stop coming to me.
Thanks, Susie. I love you.
Yeah.
And then what do you do too? Like, so if that person you discount is referring their friend, you're like, well, do I give them the discount rate or do I give them my real rate? Now you've just wasted more time. Like if you just charge everyone the same and treat everybody fairly, it's so much more calming on your mind.
So we've worked with people that we've talked to who essentially, like, they'll have a client come in and they pay X, their full price. And then they have, say, 2 clients come in that are so deeply discounted that those 2 clients maybe pay the same as the first client together. Mm-hmm. And that's their time. Yeah, it's your time. So eliminating discounts is going to increase the amount of money that you make.
It's really the first step to making some progress here on building your business and making it profitable.
All right. So I have a little plan of action here, a little strategy for the owners out there.
Okay.
So owners,
I'm listening.
This one's for you. This is going to sting some people too.
I mean, who knows? It could sting me. Let's see.
You must build a team and stop using this blunt force approach. Mm-hmm. And what do I mean by blunt force? I'm glad you asked. I mean, you need to stop working more to carry your business. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. You need to be, a cheesy quote alert here, okay? You need to work more on your business and less in your business. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what I hear. But I love doing hair. I'm never going to stop. You can never stop me. I have relationships with these people. No one said stop doing hair. Still do all the hair you want. Mm-hmm.
But you have a team to lead.
But if you have a business that's based just on you busting your ass to float, you don't have a business.
Agreed.
You have a job. You just happen to work for yourself. Mm-hmm. So Working like a crazy person behind the chair for the majority of your week does nothing to help grow your team. You have to focus on your team. So I don't know if that's you might have to, and we've done this, you might have to work more, meaning not behind the chair, but a day working with your team to help start building them.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do?
They need you. Well,
they
would
need
imagine.
People want leadership. Yeah. They need leadership. So if you're just busting your ass behind the chair, they think, well, I should just bust my ass behind the chair. That's not, they're never going to build successful careers like that. It just doesn't work in this industry.
Yeah. And
long term, I'm talking about long term. Will it work for you're getting your business up and running. Do you have to bust your ass a little? I don't know. Are you bootstrapping?
Yeah.
Or do you have an investor? It depends. Right. I don't know what your scenario is, but I would say if you don't have to do that, don't do that because it's hard to untrain people. Real hard. I know for a fact.
And again, you can tell your staff, this is what we do here, but you're leading by your actions. And your actions are what they follow.
So if you're running around like a lunatic behind the chair, triple booking and all this stuff, then your staff is like, wow, I feel like shit. I'll never be as busy as them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Don't follow that. Unless that's what you want for yourself, I guess. That's
agree.
Really weird.
I used to do that. I know. I'm sure I triple booked actually at some point.
You have. Yeah. I think I've seen 4 people before.
I'm sure.
In your schedule.
I'm sure. I used
Not to at hello.
And then I would have people they'd be like, I never felt rushed, which I'm like, I'm thankful that you didn't feel that way, but inside I was dying and literally having a panic attack because there's just too many things happening all at one time. Obviously I could do a decent job, but for sure there's always something that's falling between the cracks. And then you're raising a team that thinks they have to do that to be successful, and
and then the cycle.
That's not something you can do for long term. I'm proud of where we are now because our team, we don't double book. They take breaks. They take their time. They truly give an amazing service, and they're present in every single service they give. And that was not easy for me to even come to myself because I could have easily been like, you guys aren't double booking. You do this, and I'm going to do this my way. But that wouldn't have been cohesive. That wouldn't have worked, because then they're going to look at me like, well, I want to do what you're doing. We actually had someone that left that was like, well, I want to do what you're doing. I want to have a 13-hour day with triple bookings. And I'm like, that's not sustainable.
What's that Instagram reel with the guy that's like, no, dummy.
Yeah. I had done it for so long that to her, that was all she knew, and I'm like, I felt
really stupid.
It was a big eye opener because I'm like, I don't want the future of anyone that looks up to me to be doing what I did. It was not sustainable. It was not healthy. It was not enjoyable. So
and when I say stupid, I'm not talking about specific people. I'm talking about the way of doing concept.
It. Yeah.
That's just a dated.
I remember
more clients,
opening hello. I was like, I want to do this. I want to not double book, but how do I get there? And it came
figure out your numbers,
raising my prices,
what to charge.
Yeah. And that's where that went.
And now you have freedom.
Yeah. And it's throughout
still
our
work.
salon.
I'm not saying you don't work.
There are days where it is so enjoyable, and I'm like, wow, I'm not exhausted like I used to be. My body doesn't hurt like it used to be. I'm not peeing and eating and drinking all at one time. I have breaks all the time. It's really amazing.
All right, so
it's possible.
If I can, I've got 3 steps here for owners. Some ways that you can grow your team. So I think step 1 is that you have to show them a plan. Now, I'm going to preface all of this stuff by saying that you have to have the right individuals making up your team. Mm-hmm. Because if the person doesn't care or they think they know more than you or whatever, none of this is going to work.
Right.
So this is assuming that you have good people that are looking for leadership, that respect you, and there's a little bit of trust already built.
Right.
Okay. So step 1, you have to show them a plan. They need a plan. If they don't know where they're going or what they're capable of achieving, they'll leave. They'll move on because other people will be better at explaining, even if it's not true.
We've seen that too.
Yeah,
yes.
We've seen. Have we seen everything?
Yeah.
Between the two of us.
For sure.
So you've got to give people a plan, which requires you to have a plan. So this stuff all goes back to, you need the foundations of your business, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, you need to know like your numbers so that you can explain. You don't have to give details of what your rent is or whatever. I don't care about that stuff, but you have to show people, like, so if I look at most salons, they have this tier system. They have, 1 through 5 levels, whatever, 7 levels, 10 levels. I don't give a shit how many levels you have. When I look at that, I think there's my ceiling.
Right.
That's the most I can make. I can never go past that.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, because I know as I approach that, my time is over here. Mm-hmm. And then you get these like mass exoduses of stylists leaving salons because they're just timed out. Mm-hmm. They're capped. So you have to show people a plan. Step 2. It's not about you. You have to understand what people are looking for. Yeah. So it's easy for owners to go out and be like, I need someone to cover nights. I need someone to take my overflow. I need someone to work on weekends. Again, if that's not what someone wants, they're out. So they need a plan of action, which you're going to help them with through coaching. You should be coaching your staff. If you're not, you're missing a massive opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then you need to understand what they want. What are they looking for? Because if you can show them now with that plan how to achieve that stuff,
right,
you're golden.
Yeah.
At least you're golden on step 2. Step 3 is to create opportunities based on what they want and do so frequently. Mm-hmm. So if someone on your team wants to, for example, educate, 1, show them the path. 2, accelerate that shit for them. Mm-hmm. Get them there quicker. I don't know why we're all waiting.
Agreed.
You got to work 4 years as an assistant.
Bullshit.
Then you have to sweep the floors.
I think
then you have to prove this. Then you have to do a decade of hair. Yeah. And then I'll hook you up with my contact and see if you're good enough. How about today? Let's just see.
That's how we roll. That's how I roll. I think the big thing is that you just said is really...
All of it. Everything I said.
This one is big.
Big stepper.
What do they want? Because I will say I have had staff that I want more for them than they want for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
And...
Won't work.
I know. I've pushed
in the long run
and pulled strings and done certain things. Like they told me all these things that they wanted, and I was like, they want these things now. And some of them said they did, but they really didn't. They didn't want to make the actionable steps. It basically pushed them out. And then there's others that I didn't listen to enough. You're right. Like I'm like, there's so much talent here. There's so much they can be. They hadn't arrived there yet.
They needed leadership.
Like
you weren't there yet.
It's a different world. So it's really important to hear what they're saying they want and also to watch their actions, because that's why I asked in the beginning. I know.
What are you willing to do?
Like, so they may say they want one thing, and I've had this recently, and I worked on all of those things, but they weren't ready to do the actionable steps, and I should have known that, but hey guys, I fuck up too. It just happens. But it's very important to hear what they're saying and then watch what they're doing and find a plan that keeps them on that track and gets them where they want to be as slow or as fast as they want that.
Well, mentoring buys speed. So that's how I look at stuff. So if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I need to make X amount of dollars. Great. I'm going to help you get there. Well, I need it for the spring because I want to move, to a new apartment or whatever. Okay, why don't we try to get you there this winter? Mm-hmm. Give you a little cushion. How about that? Like, why are we waiting?
Right.
I think we procrastinate because things will get uncomfortable or we'll feel like a failure if we don't hit certain marks.
Right.
And it's just not true. You have to stop putting so much pressure on yourself. All right. So those are your 3 steps. So step 1, show your staff a plan. Step 2, understand what they're looking for. And then step 3, create opportunities and provide speed. Mm-hmm. I got 2 more points before we wrap.
Okay.
Or two more things that I want to point out that can increase your business. So 1 is to host events.
Yes.
I don't know what it looks like for you. We had toyed around with having like a community, like a content day where we hire like a videographer, a photographer, and there's costs associated with that stuff. So we would have everyone sort of chip in, maybe make a ticket price. I don't know. Right. Or maybe we cover it. And in the long run, having people in the salon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you can do to increase business is, especially nowadays, or for the past like maybe 5 to 8 years, I don't know exactly, run some classes of your own.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a national independent educator to fucking run some classes.
No, there's people locally that just want to go to local salons.
Just learn. Just want to learn and have some fun with new people, different people.
Yeah, we just recently did it and it was amazing.
You ran the first Hello Hair Pro class alongside Meg. Shout out, Meg.
Shout out.
And it was great. People came in, they had a lot of fun. You don't have to be a master in order to educate. You just have to be a step ahead of whoever you're teaching.
Yeah, just help them out.
Also, you're going to learn something from them.
Yeah.
Right? Run through the steps. What are you looking for? What is that person looking for? And then show them a way to get there. Do that same thing as I laid out for staff. Do that when you're educating. What is somebody looking for? Mm-hmm. How can you help them get there? How can you help them get there quick? How can I help you get on our mailing list?
Nice plug.
So, do you have anything else?
No,
I don't. I think we covered this, and I think we covered it in a way that wasn't just your cookie cutter. Do this and get more clients in, and that's what we're trying to do with the show, right?
Yeah, because it there's no one way. It's I could
say run an ad on Facebook.
Don't do that, but yeah, you
could. But have you done the basics? Yeah. Do you have your foundation first?
And it all takes work. It might be annoying to think that it's not going to happen just because you put it in the universe. You got to put actionable steps with whatever it is that you want to do. And here's the thing: I'll give a plug to our Hello Hair Pro. If you're like, wow, there were some good things there. I don't know where I start first. You can book an entry call with us. Complimentary. We can at least help you organize a few thoughts and go from there and get you on a path to loving what you do, making money, and getting where you want to be.
For show. That's all I have.
Peace out.
Peace out, Cub Scout. Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, mailing list.
I hope your kids eat dinner with you.
That's freaking hilarious. All right. This was a long one.
My own troubles.
Was this long? We're almost pushing an hour here.
Oh, wow.
Gotta edit a little bit, but.
All right.
All right, let's wrap it.
All right.
Get on the mailing list or email us. DM me, whatever you want to do. We'll set up a call.
I'd love to chat.
Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys.
Have a great day.
See you next week.